Sophie Hargreaves is a bitch. Andri, Panayi. Sophie Hargreaves is a... I didn't write that. You won't tell my nan, will you? You know that I've been hanging around with people who swear. She'd flip if she heard me say a word like that. Though I heard her say piss off to the neighbour once. I'm not telling you who did it either. I know that you think because I'm, well, me, I might snitch. But I'm not going to. I stick by my friends, even when they do bad things. Nan says I need people to like me, so that's what I'm doing. Ellie even said that she was my best friend the other day. She said the kitchen looked spotless after the party and I'd done such a good job cleaning. She was right. It was an absolute state. I don't know what they've been doing. Nan says I need to make friends here because I'm going to be here for a long time. She says there's nothing for me back home now. I always say you're back home, but she doesn't listen. She's right, I suppose. It's huge here compared to where I'm from. It's got like 3 McDonald's in the city centre. And the other day, I saw a boy wearing eyeliner. He was so glamorous. Like, he should have been on Strictly. It's such a shame that someone wrote that about Sophie. I didn't expect anything like that from the girls I live with. Best friends we are. You know that expression? Friends are the family you choose. Well, that's what it's like for me. Except I didn't choose them. They just sort of appeared. They're kind of like if all your old Barbie dolls came to life and they lived in the same house with you. They're all so beautiful and blonde, and they do that thing when your sentence goes up at the end of a question, even when they're not asking a question. They like playing games too. Banter, they call it. They're so funny. The other night, someone on the floor put gravy granules in the shower head. I smelled like roast beef all day. I couldn't stop laughing. Anyway, we are best friends. Because Sophie invited me on the night out. And she even put me on the WhatsApp group. Everyone was invited. Even Oliver. Oliver Jackson lives on the floor below. He's the one with the curly black hair and the green eyes. He studies art and he's always doing loads of big projects. He's so cool. I sometimes sit next to him on the bus because our classes start at the same time. So I guess you could say we were friends. He's not much of a talker, to be honest. I don't get much of a response. I took ages deciding what I was going to wear. I wanted to get ready quickly because the last time they asked, I'd taken so long to get ready that they left without me. Serves me right for spending so long curling my hair. Nothing ever looked right on me. I saw Sophie and Ellie go out and bin bags on Halloween, and somehow drape them across their bodies to look like runaway models. I didn't go out back home. Some girls in school would go out, drinking in the city nearby. My nan would have a fit if I had. She doesn't want it happening again, she said. I don't remember my mum dying, but my nan's tormented by it. She says it was her fault for not caring about my mum enough. And mum's stupid boyfriend's fault for letting her drive drunk. She swore she'd never let anything like that happen to me. The world is a dangerous place, she says. She once called the police when I didn't phone on the girls' brigade trip. I told her there was no signal in the fields, but she didn't trust me. She thought I'd be like my mum, but I'm not like her. I couldn't be even if I wanted to. Do you think Sophie would be angry with me if I didn't say who did it? I can't believe she would think I wrote it. Such a stupid thing to do, really. Write something on a wall. You're making evidence to be used against yourself. I went to put makeup on in the bathroom of the girls. They were crowded round the mirror, already drinking. Oh my God, Ams, Sophie scoffed. Are you actually wearing that dress? I held my breath and smiled. Banter, I thought to myself. Someone poured me a vodka and a Coke, and I pretended to like it. Everyone was talking and laughing together like they'd known each other for years. Everyone was bragging about the amount they drank and all the drugs they'd taken. I don't really understand anything, to be honest. It sort of feels like a code everybody else learnt, but I didn't. What's a Jaeger bomb? Is it something rude? I normally just pretend to understand. Ellie told me she'd taken LSD over the summer. I panicked and said, I took crack once, because I'd heard it on my nan's detective programme. Sophie started playing with my hair. She has gorgeous locks that sat perfectly like a Pantene advert, not like my frizzy mess. She started taking mirror selfies of us. If I looked like that, I would take selfies all the time, too. I only really used my phone to tell Nan I was okay. Some of the other girls laughed at me for it. They didn't understand what she was like. Ems, Sophie grinned. I think you fancy Oliver Jackson. You're always talking about him. She was right. I even let him put his paints in the kitchen, even though I knew they would stain the tops. I felt my face grow redder and redder. I had never really spoken about boys to anyone before. I guess that's something friends talk about, though, isn't it? Like, you tell your friends secrets. I sheepishly nodded my head. Sophie and the other girls cackled together. I guess it was like one of their funny jokes again. Like the time they locked me out the flat. The Viennetta I'd got them had melted by the time I got in. Are you going to have sex with him, Emily? Sophie said, with a playful twinkle in her eye. I felt an uncomfortable knot in my tummy. I always offer to make Nan tea when rude stuff happened on the TV. I'd wait there for ages. They've stopped coughing off, Emily! Nan would yell. Everyone is coughing off here all the time, sometimes more. I'm glad I brought my earbuds for sleeping. Maybe it was normal, though, and I was the weird one, I thought to myself. Maybe I did want to have sex with Oliver. I hope so, I giggled. Sophie giggled with me. We met everyone outside. Oliver was there, and I spoke to him. I told him about the scarf I was knitting for my nan at the craft shop. He had the most gorgeous eyes I'd ever seen. If I could have, I would have just kissed him, there and then. He said the scarf was cool, but he needed to go over there now. I always thought going out would be all high heels and fancy lights. It's kind of like that. But there's a lot of broken glass and puddles of sick too. We all linked arms. Or rather, they linked arms, and I walked behind. Apparently, Sophie's cousin has a house in Ibiza, and we're all going next summer. I offered my uncle's caravan in Rill, but didn't think anyone heard. In the club, the music was so loud and blared in my ears and the floor stuck to my heels. Everyone was dancing. Well, we're just bopping their heads and hugging. In a way, it was nice, 'cause I knew no one cared about what I was doing. Come to think of it, no one seemed to care about the stench of beer or sweat. I saw Sophie at the bar with Oliver. His eyes twinkled in the dark of the club. He saw me staring at him, and he started walking over. Sophie must have said something nice about me, I thought. She was the best friend I could ever have. I'd never been kissed before. I felt my hands go all clammy. Oh, I wish they wouldn't. He came close and whispered in my ear. I couldn't hear anything, so I just laughed. He looked confused and said it again. I like you too, I mouthed. But he didn't understand. He led me out to the smoking area. It was quieter, and it was probably more romantic, I thought. I gazed in his eyes and embraced myself. And then he said it. I'm sorry, Emily. I don't like you. Can you stop telling people, please? My body felt like it had dropped off a building. Lumps grew in my throat, like I was going to choke. I was so confused. How did he know? I saw that video of you saying you want to have sex with me, he said sheepishly. I went into my bag and took out my phone. I didn't realise Sophie had been filming me in the toilets. And Sophie must have forgotten I was on the WhatsApp group. I felt my cheeks burn in shame. The messages after felt like a punch in the stomach. Emily likes you, Oliver. She won't stop talking about you. She's such a freak. Oh, well. Maybe she'll crochet you a scarf. You could go and visit her weird nan in Wales. I felt like I was going to scream, sob, and vomit all at once. I felt dizzy, all the shame and anger spinning around my skull. For the first time, I accepted I was alone. I looked at the mess in the kitchen and I left it. They could clean it. They put all of Oliver's stupid paints in the bin. I'd been so stupid and acted like it was all okay. And it wasn't. I was pissed off. I was sick of being their little puppy who followed them around only to be kicked in the face. Sophie had betrayed me. She'd made me look like an idiot in front of Oliver, in front of everyone. She couldn't deny it, because everyone could see it was there. I wish someone would say how much of a cow she is. That she's a lying little cow with no ounce of loyalty in her body. I hope someone tells everyone. Sophie Hargreaves is a bitch. You won't tell my nan, will you?